Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This show is for March 2018. I'm Marc Morisseau, and also hosting the show today are Ian Kingston, James Hinsey, and Calvin Watts III. Yes, new setup, new way of doing things. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Woohoo. Let's go.
Let's go. As always, we start off with a segment about movie clips and all sorts of really cool stuff that Ian's going to do called Popcorn Previews. Take it away, Ian.
Thank you, Marc. All right, so today we're going to be going over a few different movies here and an additional discussion regarding a service that I'm really excited about. I've started doing, and I find it to be pretty powerful and exciting. So first movie we're going to be talking about here is Solo, a Star Wars story. Comes out on May 25th. It's directed by Ron Howard, who directed A Beautiful Mind and Apollo 13.
Opie!
Some pretty amazing films that I've enjoyed over the years. And it stars Aiden Ehrenreich, who stars Han Solo in his younger years, Emilia Clarke as Kira, and Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. The story is going over during an adventure into a dark criminal underworld. Han Solo meets his future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters Lando Calrissian years before joining the rebellion. So we get to see a lot of the backstory behind Han Solo and how he got to where he is. So let's go ahead and check out that clip.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own. I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
Hey, kid. I'm putting together a crew. You in?
That's yes.
I might be the only person. Who knows what you really are?
What's that?
Get ready.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
All right, so are you guys pretty excited for that footage?
I'm more excited now. I'm still worried about, because Ron Howard came in pretty late into the production,
Right.
and so a lot of stuff has gotten reshot and redone. But the trailer looks good, and so, we'll happen to see. One of the things I am pretty stoked about, I was just reading and seeing a little video, and I don't think it was from Lego, but they did a model of the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And if you ever remember what they talk about in the original series is that the Millennium Falcon's been heavily modified.
Right.
Well, you get to see it for the first time, obviously, in this movie in regards to the Star Wars universe, and it is not heavily modified. It's in its original shape, and there are a bunch of differences. So it'll be interesting to see
Yeah, it looks cool.
how the ship starts.
I guess Lego kind of leaked the footage because they were introducing their toys based on the movie.
Right.
And so when they did that, people went, hey, this isn't the same Millennium Falcon, it's something different. I think Emilia Clarke is glad to have the role in this movie because she's not going to be naked in every other scene like she is in Game of Thrones. So that'll be good too.
So I mean, I wasn't overly thrilled about the trailer, but I think that was what Disney wanted to do. Is they wanted to keep it very subtle, very on the low key, quiet, and kind of just leaving people wondering like what it's going to really be about. Because the description is very different than how the trailer came across. It had like a little bit of humor, and then like some of those horizon shots with like Chewbacca and Solo like looking back briefly and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of faith in Disney. As you guys all know, I'm a huge Disney fan, and I think that they're going to do an excellent job with the movie. So I'm not going to pass any judgment before or after the movie. I'm just going to wait and see how it comes out.
That's really the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But Disney's kind of at the forefront of a lot of the way the movies are presented now. It's changing almost on a daily basis between digital stuff, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But one of the main things that has changed a lot is how trailers are. I mean, you used to get trailers for a movie that would be coming out in like a year from now. Now you got trailers coming out for movies that are coming out in 2 weeks,
Right.
a month, or in some places the same day. But we'll
Right.
get to that.
Well, because in 2 weeks, after it's released in the theaters, it's going to be on streaming and DVD and all this other stuff, The
Everything's
shelf life
being
for movies are
condensed.
very short. Yeah.
But yet they're still, the bigger movies are still hitting like box office records like every year. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And overall, the film industry is, I wouldn't say it's floundering. It's not really growing, but it's at pretty healthy numbers right now. And as more, this is a huge year for Disney. I think they've got something like 15 major movies coming out this year alone, all going to theaters, and they're all looking pretty incredible.
All eventually going to their streaming service, too.
Which, as I say incredible, that leads me into my second clip here.
Ooh,
See what I
well
did
done,
there?
fine sir.
So-
He learned something from his dad.
So the next clip that we're doing here is The Incredibles 2. Now, The Incredibles 1 was probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yep.
It's a Disney plus superhero mesh where there's a wonderful combination of family entertainment, morality, and superhero powers with a really interesting backstory. So they're going into Incredibles 2, and it kind of comes off of that little extra scene that they had in Incredibles 1 called Jack Jack Attack.
Yeah.
And this one, we've only got a teaser today for you, but the movie comes out June 15th. It is directed by Brad Bird, who directed the first Incredibles. He directed Tomorrowland, so there's a little bit of a, not a major box office, not so much of a powerful movie, but he also had Ratatouille and Iron Giant, which Iron Giant was one of my favorite movies of all time as well. And all that together, I think he's going to do a fantastic job. Of course, he did direct the first Incredibles, like I said. And it does, reprise the role for Craig T. Nelson as Mr. Incredible, Holly Hunter as Elastigirl, Sarah Vowell as Violet, and Huck Milner as Dash. And Samuel Jackson is coming back as Frozone, so we get to see him. Also, Edna Mode is going to be back in it as well. And for the movie, the story is, like I said, it's following up on that Jack Jack Attack little additional scene in the original movie when it came out on DVD. It's basically Mr. Incredible is left to care for Jack Jack while Elastigirl, the feminine hero here, is actually out saving the world. So we'll see how all that kind of intermingles there. Let's take a look at that teaser.
You have powers! Yeah, baby!
Honey, where's my super suit? One of the best lines in the movie.
I'm the greatest good you're ever going to get. Oh, I love that movie. So I'm really, really stoked for that. It's going to be an awesome film.
And Pixar has been they're just great. I can't fault them for anything.
Yep.
I mean, that's the company that made Steve Jobs a billionaire. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think of Apple as being the source of his wealth, but it really was Pixar. Their IPO, the week after Toy Story came out, it blew up, and his process that he brought to that group, where it's a lot of creative, constructive criticism without judgment inside of a closed environment, is really the strategy they've kept moving forward. And you look at their movies, hit after hit after hit, they're doing something right.
Yeah.
And I was reminded yesterday too that Pixar started with Lucasfilm and ILM.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
And even though some of those movies are, especially in the Disney area, are kind of dinosaurs now, we're getting a little bit more forward. But speaking of talking about dinosaurs here,
Oh, jeez.
the final clip
You're not
I've
going to
got,
do this every freaking month, are you?
it's got to be a running theme. I got to have my own little shtick.
Okay.
Throw me a bone here.
Speaking of dinosaurs.
Some dinosaur bones,
Oh, I
so-
don't get it.
Well, he's already a fossil.
if you will. I do take after my old man, although it's a new evolution. So Jurassic World 2, we've got coming up Fallen Kingdom here. And, it reprises the roles for Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard as Owen and Claire coming back. But we also get to see Jeff Goldblum come back as Ian.
Excellent.
My namesake. It's kind of wonderful there. And it's also bringing back the, mysterious and, kind of seemingly evil Dr. Wu coming back in some cases. But we're going to see how they're all kind of really just shine in this plot here, how they're going to bring everything together. The story is about when the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life, Owen and Claire mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from this extinction level event. It comes out, I believe, June 22nd of this year, and we have a trailer for you that came out during the Super Bowl. So let's take a look at that.
Yep.
Do you remember the first time you saw a dinosaur?
Hey, Blue.
We don't really believe it. It's like a miracle. Something's coming.
It's the T-Rex. It's the T-Rex.
Stop! It's not a T-Rex.
Blue, come with me. You know you can't stay here.
Jurassic World, the island,
You're all right. Easy, girl.
all of that is in the past.
My dad! Not yet, kid!
I want to show you the future.
What is that thing?
They made it.
Blue!
You need to get us out of here.
My only question is, they get the dinosaurs off the island, but where the heck? Hope they have a plan
Where
as
will
to
they put them?
Where they put them?
Are we going to see
Montana.
Is there anybody? And does anybody really want them? You know, do you want a dinosaur pen in your backyard? How's that going to work?
Are they just going to put them off into some massive freight ships, and then when the volcano is all settled, they're just going to be like, all right, you're
Bring them
back.
back? Yeah.
I
So
feel like
we'll,
that would be kind of
That's
lame.
definitely a horrific movie trip.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful. So, I mean, I love Jurassic World 1. I thought that there was some campy parts to it, Blue coming in to save the day. I thought that was, I mean, my fiance Maddie behind the camera, she's all happy about it, but that was probably the part of the movie I didn't really enjoy, I'll be honest. But, I love Chris Pratt as an actor. I thought that Bryce did an amazing job as Claire. You got to, see a lot of the obnoxious snobbery of her position combined with her arrogance coming into realizing, her wrongdoing and trying to make the best of it. So it was a pretty good, story of growth, human character development, and, I'm pretty excited to see, that next chapter in their story.
Okay, segue to what else?
Yeah, so.
Let's see how he does this. Okay.
And you can see each of these movies for a very affordable price if you end up subscribing to this next service that I'm going to be talking about here. It's called Movie Pass. It's something I just started last night, actually. My Maddie and I went to go and see Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle using this service, just to really kind of test out the waters. But as I love going to see the movies, and it can start to get a little expensive. If you do this service called Movie Pass, and I'll go over some of the details on how it works, but for about the price of a movie ticket per month, you can see up to one movie every single day of each month. It's an ongoing service. They basically send you out a debit card. It's like a MasterCard that you swipe, pay for the ticket. They've got agreements in place for Showcase Cinemas, AMC, and some other theaters nationwide. My brother uses it out in California, so East Coast to West Coast, it's really kind of seeing everything across the board, and it's pretty awesome. The limitations to it right now is that they don't have any family plan developed into it, so you have to use your own email and make a different email and sign up with different accounts to have each individual movie ticket access.
Okay.
So if you're going to sign it up, I have one for me and I've got one for Maddie, and I had to use 2 different emails just to be able to do that. And then in order to be able to purchase your tickets, you have to go into your smartphone on an app, so you have to have that accessibility to use it to begin with.
I mean, you actually have to use your smartphone?
Yeah,
Oh, forget
it has
that.
to actually be on,
I'm not going to.
You go into
No
the
kidding.
app, into each account using those email addresses you signed up with, click on the movie at the Showcase or AMC or whatever you're going to see it at, click on the movie and the movie time and click check in, and then you have 30 minutes to buy your ticket using their card. And if you don't do that, then you've basically lost your ticket for that day.
Do you have to go to the counter to get your physical ticket?
Yep, you swipe it like you're paying with a credit card.
Right.
Yep, it's
If you go to the Showcase, can you use the Star Pass along with it? Do you
Yes.
gain points? Oh, that's good.
yep,
All right.
you can.
So you can still earn your free
So
popcorn
will it also
and
work
soda.
with like IMAX?
If it's IMAX available, which I believe the one in Providence is available.
It's because it's Showcase.
Yep, I'm pretty sure. I'm not. Don't hold me to it. That's not a quote.
That would be
Right.
cool.
But I'm pretty sure. So it's definitely worth checking out. If you're a huge movie buff and you want to get to the movies and see everything this year, even if you just want to see all the Disney releases this year, you're already saving money.
Right.
So just throwing that out there. What do you guys think about this service?
It sounds great. If I usually don't go to as many movies,
Right.
But I thought, wow, I used to go to a lot, especially when I was younger and stuff like that. So it would be great to have a subscription pass like that.
Yeah, it's a good way to get people back into the movie theaters, too.
Yeah, and especially if your favorite theater happens to be one of the people that participates in Movie Pass, and it's definitely a good thing.
Awesome. All right, so that's the end of my segment here. So we're going to go over to a segment that everybody loves called Game Over
The
with
favorite
Calvin.
segment of the
Don't start
show.
that stuff.
Come on,
Really?
it's 2018. I haven't said it yet, so there we go.
Well, you said it now.
Take it away, Calvin.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Remember how it was saying that March is usually kind of like
Kind of slow.
kind of slow?
Right.
Well, you can throw that out the window. So we're going to start out with God Particle. Now, we had talked about God Particle a little bit in the past. God Particle was basically the next film that was going to be in the Cloverfield universe, which
Right.
is the J.J. Abrams monster universe,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
I like that movie.
And so we were talking a little bit earlier about how, trailers and stuff get released. So the second movie in the series, which was 10 Cloverfield Lane, when they announced that, nobody, people knew that was kind of in development. Nobody really knew anything about it.
Right.
And then the trailer came out, and then, the theatrical release was literally like a month later.
Another awesome movie.
So God Particle was supposed to be released a few months ago, but then it kind of got put off on the back burner. And then there were rumors going around that Paramount had a lot of films on the schedule for this year, including like the upcoming Venom. That's Sony. I'm sorry. Anyways, but they have a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah.
So they were looking to cull and take out some of the movies from their schedule. So there was rumors going around that Netflix might pick up the God Particle, but there wasn't really anything going into that. And lo and behold, out of nowhere comes a Super Bowl ad for the Cloverfield Paradox, which ended up being the God Particle's official name. And it said during the Super Bowl thing, coming soon. Well, coming soon was basically as soon as the game was over,
Yeah.
here you go.
Right. The second commercial said available now.
Now, yeah.
So I did get to see it, and it was pretty cool in its own right. Some of the people that have seen it, aren't, the reviews are kind of all over the place. But the movie itself is pretty good. It's streaming right now if you want to go see it. And one of the really cool things, and I'll try not to spoil it for you, but Cloverfield and J.J. Abrams was one of the forerunners of the ARG movement. You know, you try to find like things online, like you get altered reality and little like tidbits there to kind of clue in. So if you watch and sync up the original Cloverfield movie and this one, at a certain point in the movie, in the original Cloverfield movie, when the lights start shaking the apartment, that's when you know like there's something going on. In this movie, something happens in this movie at the exact same time. So it's like 18 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Okay.
So it kind of syncs up. So like whatever happens in this movie is a cause or the effect of what happens in Cloverfield.
What happens in the new movie is a result of what happens in the first movie.
What happens in the
vice
movie
versa.
directly impacts what happens in Cloverfield.
Okay.
At the exact
All right,
same
okay.
time.
So what happened on the space station was what happened.
Yes.
I got it. Okay.
Which is really freaking
Now,
cool.
I haven't seen this new paradox, so when I watch it, now I'll know. 18 minutes in, boom, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but I liked it, and so it's streaming on Netflix. No word of actual like Blu-ray or physical release date, so I'm sure it's gonna be on Netflix for a while. Future Cloverfield universe releases though, like there's the fourth series movie is called Overlord. That's still scheduled for release later on this year.
All right.
And they are still planning on releasing movies theatrically, but it was still something different.
It was nice. I like that universe.
And the plot for that number 4, time-wise, takes place a lot earlier
That's
than
correct.
the other ones.
I believe during World War II, if I remember
Yeah, something
correctly.
like that. It's a
Seriously?
historical-
Yeah,
like
nice.
Yeah.
prequel, like.
So March media releases. Now we talked a little bit about this last month that they had just scheduled like Justice League and Thor Ragnarok. Well, now. So on the 6th of March we have Thor Ragnarok, and for you Disney fans, The Dark Crystal is getting an anniversary release. Jim Henson's Muppet masterpiece. Really, really good movie if you haven't seen it. So that comes out on the 6th. On the 13th, we have Justice League, and we also have Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water,
That quick. All right.
which is up for, I believe it has the most nominations for the Academy
I
Awards
know.
this year.
As we're
with-
filming, that's still in
as we're
theaters.
filming. It's
considered-
exactly, it's
is it
still in
con-
theaters.
Is that considered a sci-fi movie or a romance? What do you think?
I think it's
a
both.
little bit of
I
both.
think it's both. So we might get a chance at an actual sci-fi movie winning Best Picture.
It could
Could
be.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be nice?
Go figure.
Sweet.
On the 20th, we have Downsizing, which was the Matt Damon
Yeah.
Little People movie, which kind of like
kind of a
bombed.
stinkeroo. Okay.
And it's funny that Ian talked about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. That just got announced as being released on that date,
Right.
What was the date again?
the 20th, March
Wow.
20th.
That's awesome.
And on the 27th, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We talked about last month about that. Probably has like an imminent release date. Well, there's your release date.
Right.
And also, Kino decided to remaster The Outer Limits, the original Twilight Zone-ish series from the 60s. Season 1's going to come out on that date.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
So
Yes, it's supposed to be in black and white. Okay.
yes, it's supposed to be in black and white, but it's been remastered, cleaned up.
Right.
So looking forward to that. And one last piece of thing, I was supposed to write it down, but I didn't, but I did remember. It looks like there is going to be a 50th anniversary remaster 4K edition of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
Stanley Kubrick's Otis masterpiece, whatever you want to call it. Still to this day, one of the most visually stunning movies like
You know, a couple
ever.
of years ago, I picked up that DVD for $5. That was it.
I think when that comes out on 4K, I might actually have to pick it up because I've never seen it.
You've never seen?
Oh, okay.
It's in my
Excellent.
library. You can
Yeah.
borrow it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because of how he filmed it and what it was
Right.
filmed on, I want to say like 65 millimeter. It's a perfect.
2001 is like
Yeah,
the
70.
Citizen Kane of sci-fi movies.
Yes.
That's what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah, so many movies took from that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even begin to Star Wars. It's just so many
Yeah.
that they look back to that as being like their inspiration.
I even built a model kit of the Orion spacecraft that's at the beginning that docks with the space station. I had a model kit for that
yeah.
for years. It was fun.
Awesome.
So
Pan Am,
once-
Yeah.
It's a 50th anniversary later on this year, so
Okay.
that's probably when it'll come out, probably in the fall. As soon as we have more information, we'll pass it
Whatever you
along.
do, don't watch that movie stoned, especially the end. No way. You will trip out. Not that I know, but, whatever.
Right. Boy, we're learning new things every day.
Too many pixie sticks.
Moving on to
I got a sugar high.
moving on to gaming, Microsoft recently made an announcement which is going to cause, it already has kind of like a ripple effect. Now both Sony and Microsoft for the Xbox have their own version of like a Game Pass, where you pay so much money each month, kind of like a subscription, and you get access to like so many different games. So in the Xbox version, it's usually like around 100 games or so, and they rotate stuff in and out. Well, they've recently announced that all new first-party releases are going to be available with this Game Pass, which is the cost of about a movie ticket a month.
Nice.
So, and that's date of release. So, Sea of Thieves is going to be like the first exclusive Xbox release that's going to be available on this system. And upcoming games like Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, any new Halo game or Gears of War game, if you have Game Pass, you'll have access to it the day it comes out.
Okay.
So for people who subscribe to that, that's great news. For people who make places like GameStop and physical media retailers, that's not so great news because that's going to take away sales from them. And so there are some companies overseas, some stores and stuff overseas that are refusing to stock Xbox products now because of this, and they do have a point. But whether you like it or not, the physical media stuff is slowly going away, and eventually it's going to be all digital. Just hopefully not anytime soon.
Right.
So part of my concern about that is because they do rotate games in and out, will they eventually rotate out, say, Crackdown 3?
Probably, but not for a while. Not if they're going to get the maximum amount of people to subscribe to go ahead and do it.
Right. That's like always my fear, though, is one of the things that's been a protection of physical media for so long is as long as it's natively installed and it's not running from a server somewhere, you can always play that game.
Right.
Yep.
So if you have a Game Pass subscription, it's great that you have access to that game. And if you're the kind of person that, especially nowadays, the attention of the modern person is, slimming down, especially when it comes down to games.
Yeah.
They play the new Call of Duty for 3 weeks and then it's on to the next game. Patriots mantra onto
Right.
Seattle, onto whatever. The issue with the Game Pass is that for the people that want to hold on to those games for a long time or like to play the old style games like you and me, that ends up becoming a problem for us too, because that means that less retailers carry our products, potentially prices on physical media go up. I just don't know how I feel about it.
Exactly. I mean, in some ways it's a good service, in other ways it's not a good service. I'm good for new innovations, that's all well and good, but I want my physical media, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right.
I want my freedom to play what I want or to watch what I want
Whenever I want.
when I want.
Right.
So, but for otherwise, if you're happy about that, then good for you. God of War is set for release on April 20th on the PlayStation 4. It's not technically God of War 4. It's kind of like it is set in the future, and Kratos is still a part of it. It's got one of the biggest releases. Looking forward to that. That'll be the game that probably makes me go out and buy a PlayStation 4.
Welcome.
Speaking of 4.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family.
Speaking of 4, Metroid Prime 4 has just been announced as being in development by Bandai by Bandai Namco for the Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
Nothing is known about it other than the fact that it's in development.
You still like
they
your Switch?
I do.
Yeah.
They announced that at E3 last year, I believe.
Yeah, so that there's no new information, there's no release date, there's no anything, but the fact that it's coming is still pretty cool.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts.
Thank you.
Good Disney? Yeah.
Yep,
Kingdom
Disney
Hearts
meets
3.
Final Fantasy.
They recently had the D23 Expo, and they have some new footage that was released with Kingdom Hearts 3, which is still scheduled to come out this year. And there's some footage here if you want to see it from the Monsters Inc. world.
All right.
Which is pretty cool. So check that out.
真心込めて脅かします。危ない。
あいつらは一体誰だ。
うわ、まずいよサリー。こんなとこ見られたら。こんにちは。俺は空だよ。君は人間を見ても平気なんだね。
マイクは大好き。
違うよブー。俺がマイクだよ。
マイクはザ好き。俺はサリーで、こいつは
知ってるって。マイク・ワゾースキーだろ。はっ。やっ。それ。はあ。はっ。やっ。さ。お前の心に眠る俺の半分が必要だ。バニタス。ベンテス、そんなところに隠れていたとはな。俺の心の残滓。
So, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to that.
That was what was interesting about that game to me was Sony kind of said, no, we'll share it. We'll share it. We'll let it go multi-platform. That's something that's always a little bit concerning to me about any of those games, because once they start going that direction, I feel like the game quality starts to go down. I feel like, generally speaking, first-party games are almost always better than multi-platform. I think Assassin's Creed, the original one, only came out on the Xbox. And then, Gears of War 1 was the best, in my opinion, out of the Gears of War games. They haven't made that go multi-platform yet, but God of War, it's one platform. Metal Gear Solid started off as one platform.
Yeah.
It went down when it went multi. I don't. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, and I wish that it stayed the core games on the PlayStation.
Well, you can't always get what you want.
I know.
But you get what you need. There you go.
That's right.
Okay.
Pokemon Go news really quick. More Generation 3 Pokemon have been released into the wild.
Do they speak?
They do not speak.
Hey,
Niantic did come up with something. I think we touched on this a little bit last month. They had a community day, or they're having a community day, which they're going to have each month, where for a couple of hours you can go out into like a local park in your areas, and they have different people that set up different things, and you'll be able to catch like a rare Pokemon which might have like a special move. The first month for January it was Pikachu with like the surf move. This month, which you won't see because it's going to go in March, is Dratini, which is still like a really rare Pokemon. And so going forward, each month they're going to have a community day event around the world where for a couple hours you'll be able to catch a certain Pokemon with stuff, cool. Which is pretty cool. Bonsai Run.
Oh, your favorite game.
My favorite
pinball
by
game.
far pinball machine table of all time.
That's a tough game.
Is finally going to come out for the Pinball Arcade. If you remember way back in like PAX East, like 2013,
yeah, you were talking about
we interviewed Norman Stepansky from Farsight Studios, and he said that it could be done, and it looks like it's going to be done. It's going to be the last table for Season 7, which should be out by end of February. So that's a good birthday gift for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of pinball, CTGamerCon is going to be on March 24th and the 25th at Mohegan Sun Convention Center. It's kind of almost like what TempleCon used to be. They have esports there, so there's going to be a lot of competitive video gaming, plus casual gaming. Pintastic is going to be having some pinball machines there. They also do tabletop gaming. There's also some steampunk and stuff going in there.
Are you saying you want us to go?
I'm saying that maybe we should go check it out.
Maybe we should go check it out.
If you want more information on that, if you go to www.ctgamercon.com.
I'll have to put that on the convention schedule on our website.
I know James from Game Underground is the one that runs the esports there.
That's the guy that we interviewed at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yes.
Okay.
Really, really cool guy.
Jamie York.
Right.
Jamie York, exactly. So hopefully we'll get to go to that.
Nice.
And speaking of Pintastic, New England 2018 is expanding this year. It's like a week or so earlier than it normally is. It's 4 days this year, from June 28th to July 1st. Again, at the Sturbridge Host Hotel. I'm looking forward to going. I might actually have different people with me this year. So it's been expanded to 4 days. Last year was a great success. Had a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to trying it out again and going this year. And for more information, if you want to go to that, www.pintasticnewengland.com.
Nice.
And that's all I got for Game Over. So let's segue on to Tube News with Marc Morisseau. Take it away,
Thank you,
Marc.
Calvin. All right, got my spectacles because I'm old. Here we go. Critters. Remember the movie series Critters back in the 1980s?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's coming back. It would have been around. Coming back with a new TV series, Critters: A New Binge. It's like a comedic term. Yeah, it looks good. 4 Critters movies were released between 1986 and 1992. The new series has the Critters returning to Burbank, California, to locate one of their own that was left behind. Warner Brothers Television will release the series on Go 90, which is Verizon's new free streaming service. So you'll be able to catch it there. And the new series starts shooting early this year. So if you like Critters, that's another series to check out. And they're not doing CGI. They're actually using the old puppets like they did
really?
in the old time. Yeah,
That's interesting.
They've contacted the company that did the original Critters puppets when they first made the movies, and those same folks are going to be making a whole new series of Critters for the show. It's a lot of fun. We'll put a still up too.
Cool.
Remember BattleBots?
Yes.
Okay. Don't say no. You really, yeah, okay. BattleBots is returning to the Science and Discovery Channel.
Oh, awesome.
All right. The robot combat sports matches will return sometime this spring.
I actually do know about that.
You do actually do,
Yeah.
yeah, because they had ABC ran a series from 2015, 2016 series.
Yeah, and then there was an original series
Earlier
back
than
in
that,
like the
on
late 90s.
It was
if I
on
remember
USA
correctly.
or something.
Yeah.
Way back when. BattleBots are cool. I always liked that show. So if you like BattleBots, it's going to the Science and Discovery. So they're going to do a lot of, for educators, a lot of STEM related materials. They're going to make that
cool,
connection
yes.
for kids, which is nice because one of the things I liked about that series was the women teams, the girls would get together and make the robots, and they would kick ass with these robots, you know? So it was pretty cool. So check out BattleBots when it comes back in the spring. There's a whole bunch of mid-season TV shows returning in March. You ready? You ready?
No.
Yeah.
She's on her phone. Get off the phone. Okay, here we go. March 1st, Gotham returns to fill out the rest of the season. March 2nd, Once Upon a Time comes back.
And it'll be the
It'll be
lead
the-
up to the finale.
The finale.
Because they have not been renewed.
Right.
So this is it?
This is it for Once Upon a Time. That ran for like 7 seasons.
Yeah, but
that
this
show.
7 one is a time jump and a location jump. So,
Right.
Because the contracts were up and things like that. So.
And they all went their
But it's
own-
been a pretty good story though.
Yeah.
I like it.
A lot of them will go back and do stuff on the Hallmark channel. Okay. Be the Beginning is a new Netflix anime series that starts on March 2nd. That looks like fun. March 8th, we have Jessica Jones Season 2 on Netflix.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll be awesome. March 11th, we have Timeless returning for Season 2 on NBC. Time travel series that originally they canceled, but the fans liked it so much they wrote into NBC, and NBC said, okay, let's give it another shot. So it's coming back. Good show. And then March 30th, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Netflix, Season 2 comes back.
Oh,
That's going to run for 3 seasons total, and then they're going to cancel it and finish it up. Okay. So that's in March. Thanks to James, I have information about Firefly. Titan Books and 20th Century Fox have teamed up to publish 3 new novels based on the Firefly universe, which is cool. So, October of this year, we're going to get Firefly Big Damn Hero. That's the first book.
Yep.
And then there's going to be Firefly The Magnificent Nine in March of 2019. And then Firefly Generations will be released in October of 2019. You're going to be married by then, dude.
Right? I am.
You won't have any money for Firefly books. Okay. Those books are going to be released in Dust Jacket hardback first, and then eventually, like in 50 years from now, they'll show up on paperback. Okay, so I'm always been a big, and James is too, we're huge Firefly fans, and it's nice to get something new in the Firefly.
Is this supposed to be like continuing the story that the TV show left off?
Yes,
But
and the movie.
prior to
I don't
Serenity?
know. It could be post Serenity.
Yeah.
But because it is licensed with Fox, not Universal, it could be pre Serenity.
Right.
Because Universal has Serenity. But still, I think a lot of the browncoats are glad
They're
to have
super
more.
pumped,
I mean,
yeah.
they loved the comics, and now the novels will be great.
I don't know if Dark Horse will continue to have the license.
Well,
I hope they do, because they've done a pretty awesome job with Firefly Serenity. So we shall see. All right, that's all I have this month for Toob News. Let's move on to another segment, wonderful world of anime we call Anime Daisuki. Do I do it? Do I do it?
Go ahead.
Go, James, go!
So for this month, March, as we speak,
So
as
this
beginning
month is
of
March?
Yes,
During this month of March, as we speak.
In February.
In February.
I know. Voltron, Legendary
Time
Defender. Voltron, Legendary Defender on Netflix, 5th season starts March 2nd.
Fifth?
Wow.
Yeah, well, because the previous one was only like 6 episodes. Season 4 was, because they release them at different chunks.
Right.
I haven't seen any of them yet.
Oh, you should. It's been good. I went up to Fenway Regal Cinema to watch Eureka 7 High Evolution.
Right.
Right. It's Funimation was having a screening. I really enjoyed it. The storytelling was kind of like very nonlinear. It kept jumping back and forth.
Okay.
But if you had seen the episodes of the original Eureka 7, you'd kind of know what was coming. But if you hadn't, it could be very confusing. So that's my opinion about how they did that. But it's only part 1, which takes part of about a quarter of the original series, plus footage of stuff that happened 10 years before the story that they talk about but never really showed in the series.
Just
So
to
it's
really
good
confuse
see-
you.
It was really good to see that, what happened 10 years before. And then they'll continue the story with the next volume. In Japan, they've been doing a lot of these, not really OVAs, but just every 3-4 months they release another film for a series that continues the story. So they're getting it out like in chunks, volumes, say.
Okay.
And then also then producing a series that is more of like the half-hour episode stuff on TV
Right.
too. So
Just to keep things
they're kind of
interesting.
they're kind of doing it 2 different ways nowadays. Let's see. One of the things that's been happening at theaters with Fathom Events is that they're going to have all these Studio Ghibli films again this year. The Studio Ghibli Film Fest 2018. They did it like 6 different movies last year, every other month or so, 2 nights. This year it's going to be 3 nights of films, starting with Mary and the Witch's Flower, which they just had in January.
Right.
They're having it again at the end of February. So if you missed it, that's okay. You can catch it again some other time. But throughout the rest of the year, Ponyo, Cat Returns, Porco Rosso, Pompoko, Princess Mononoke, Grave of the Fireflies, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, and Castle in the Sky.
So these are all
between
movies.
now and November.
These are all movies that have been released before. They're
Yes.
just bringing them back.
But they're
for
having
Fathom.
these so for 3 dates in each month, they'll have these screenings.
Fathom events are kind of a mixed bag for me because stuff like that you never have a chance
Yeah.
to see in the theater is really good. But things when they do like Doctor Who,
Right.
they'll do like the Christmas special on the
Right.
big screen. And as much as I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, I don't want to pay the extra money to go see Doctor Who on the big screen. It doesn't really make that much
I wonder
of a
if you
difference.
can do it with MoviePass.
I was just going to say, I wonder
That
if
would
you
be
could
pretty cool.
if you could
Yeah.
movie pass it, then that would work.
Yeah.
And then you're already paying for it. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
They Fathom Events also has other kinds of live events. They're kind of streaming to theaters these live events too. They've done operas and things like that.
Right.
One of the things that they're having in I think March or soon is theatrical release of The Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay.
So Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal
Right.
is going to be in theaters.
Now
and
that
so-
I would go back and see in the
yeah,
big screen
along
again.
with the DVD release.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I have to take my daughter Madison to go see Dark Crystal because I failed her in the Star Wars universe when she was a kid. I never introduced her to Star Wars.
I did.
Why you did? you did. So I have to take you to go see Dark Crystal. All right, we'll go see that movie.
yeah.
All right.
Also,
Kind of redeemed myself.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Well, kind of,
not
sort
really.
of. Okay.
Right. All right, and then next, Mary and the Witch's Flower also made 1.9 million in theaters.
Nice.
For its past screening here in January, and is so far the most successful theatrical release that G Kids has had among all the ones that they've had. So,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. Let's see, Yoshiki Tanaka's The Legend of Galactic Heroes, an anime that was based on several novels that he wrote. There's a new one coming in April, but they are also going to be releasing to home video almost the whole entire series of Legend of Galactic Heroes anime, which is about 100 different episodes and films and stuff all together. So, I mean, it's sort of a really epic tale. Plus, they're also publishing the 10 novels, the original novels that he wrote. So I have to look forward to seeing that. You can also watch it on streaming on a website called HiDive, HIDIVE, hidive.com. There's a free and a subscription rate, which actually was less than a latte, as they advertise on their website.
Okay.
For less than a latte a month, you can watch premium anime stuff on HiDive. So that was like just a brand new place I just discovered. It's like, oh, cool, I should check that out. You know, let's see. And next, there's a convention up in Troy, New York, on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, which is my alma mater. I went to Rensselaer Polytechnic, or we call it RPI. No one says Rensselaer. It's RPI. So they have their own convention that they started in 1985.
Right.
I was there for
Okay.
that first convention and was part of it a little bit. But this year's CTGamerCon, it's called CTGamerCon, is hosting Studio Trigger's Kazuya Matsumoto, Masahiko Otsuka, and Takafumi Hon. The Studio Trigger people who worked on Little Witch Academia, Kill la Kill, and a bunch of other anime. They're doing a really great job with the work they're doing. And that's March 2nd and 4th, 2nd through the 4th. So early March, CTGamerCon. And they've grown.
Are you going?
No, I've got another convention
stuff?
thing I'm going to
Okay.
on a different weekend. But I always try to support, the alumni as
The
alumni.
Yeah, good.
So it's like, cool, CTGamerCon, still running after all these years.
Nice.
Cool.
You know why? Because they kept it nice and small and simple
Yes.
and didn't try to expand and get ahead of
Right.
themselves.
And they do a lot of gaming and anime stuff now versus, let's see, we did have Phil Folio and Hal Clement as our guests.
Oh, sweet.
In the
Hal
first
Clement,
one.
I missed that
Wow.
guy. Yeah.
Who is he?
He was a science fiction writer.
Sci-fi writer.
He taught science at a school in
Very nice guy.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, he used to go to a lot of local New England conventions, so we used to meet up
Yeah.
with him all the time.
Reesia.
I feel like I'm going to be asking who is that a lot.
That's quite all
that's
right.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll coach you, kid.
I'm the voice of the audience.
The voice there, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah, and then in Olympic news, in March it'll be after the Olympics, but for the very first night of the Olympics, they had the short program for pairs figure skating,
Right.
and the Japanese pair, Ryuichi Kahara and Miyu Suzuki, did theirs to the music from Yuri on Ice, which is an anime that has been very popular. So they took one of the musical pieces from Yuri on Ice, which is about ice skaters and figure skating, and they used it for their Paris short program.
There you go.
And
That's
it's
cool.
like fans are rejoicing and wow, Yuri on Ice, awesome.
So all Japanese fans knew what they were doing. Good.
Yeah. Also, Yuri on Ice has been applauded for the interpersonal relationships of the characters, of being various types. So it's been a very appealing anime for a lot of fans.
Ah, okay.
Of various demographics. So it's worth checking out. if
So
you
can we
haven't
say
checked
it's
it out.
popular in the LGBT community? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I
Got it. There we
couldn't
go.
think of that, but
Okay.
that's a good way of putting it. So, and that's it I have for Anime Daisuki.
Good.
Let's see. So we're going to go on now to
Toys,
Props, and Other.
We'll just say stuff.
Stuff.
We'll work out a new intro later. How's that? That sound good?
No, but whatever.
Okay. So toys, props, and other stuff.
Things.
Where our wonderful camera people Whenever they're ready, point to things, and we speak about them.
Oh, so that is the audiobook in a nice display case and boxes there for the Harry Potter novels. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the Goblet of Fire, and things like that. Those are all Stephen Fry reading the audiobook, which he's an English actor, versus the Jim Dale ones that were published in America. And these are all in cassette form. So these are a bit old, but a friend of mine was making room and getting rid of it, so I acquired them. And so even though they're cassette, I have a cassette player, and some of them I'm trying to transfer to MP3 so I can listen to it with my phone or whatever. But
Right.
So I have there's one set that I didn't bring because the box was getting kind of flimsy, but inside the metal box is the sets of like 4 of the 5 books, and then the 2 others next to it.
So underneath the PEG Award is Battlestar Galactica, the complete series. This is the 2003. Shut up in the back there.
Our director doesn't like that series.
It is the 2003 reimagined series. Look, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The original Battlestar Galactica is a classic. It's one of my favorite classic sci-fi series of all time.
Yes.
But the reimagined series really set new standards on the Sci-Fi Channel and for science fiction fantasy in general. For whatever reason, I've owned this for a while, but I just recently decided to start watching it.
Right.
And in like the last week or so, I've gone through like a season and a half.
Nice.
It is an excellent series. This box is the particular one that you want to get.
Tell the director that we can hear him over his microphone.
Quiet.
We do have, there were some different releases for this box set, but this particular one is the one you want because it also has the standalone versions of the TV movies Razor and The Plan.
Those are pretty good.
It's excellent. I cannot recommend that series enough. It is just awesome.
Okay, next to that?
Next to that, we've got Steampunk. It's basically just a novel going over all of the different kind of ins and out of the steampunk universe, the inventions, the lore, the universe in essence, and it's edited by Mike Ashley.
Yep.
It's a pretty fantastic story.
Steampunk is cool.
Thematic kind of device, especially if you're going to try and do any kind of world building or run a steampunk universe. It's also a great reference.
Yep.
Next to that, we've got a pop figure of Nightwing that Calvin was ogling at earlier. And next to that, we've also got Star Wars Pez of Chewbacca and a Porg. So just some nifty little gifts I've gotten for Christmas.
Cool. All right.
So this is the Regia souvenir program for this year. It's got a lot of information about the guests of honor here. They're listed here on the cover. And inside there's some artwork also by the guest of honor artist.
It has that new magazine smell.
Yes. And also bios of all the participants, like myself. So even I'm in here. Let's see if I can find myself real quick.
Wow.
Oh, that's why you brought it.
I see.
Oh, I see.
We have a special guest, gentlemen.
Name dropping.
I'm right over here.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
He's published.
That's it.
Wow.
But, so I brought a whole bunch for everyone.
Thank you.
Next thing you know, we'll be giving out autographs.
One for you.
All right. I need this
firewood.
I have a door that hasn't been.
In fact,
I have a door that hasn't been opened.
please.
So I always like to collect these and stuff like that. So they're
Nice.
good to have when you're after going to a convention.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. If you want to get in touch with us, our email address is risfic.communications@gmail.com. Drop us a letter, please. Our website, www.risfc.org. We have Twitter feeds at Sci-Fi Journal if you want to check us up on that. We have Facebook pages as well. A lot of good stuff coming on. Rhode Island Science Fiction Club has monthly meetings and movie nights and all sorts of really cool stuff, so please check us out. We also have a YouTube channel. If you can't watch us on Rhode Island Peg Access, you can catch us on a YouTube channel. And hint, hint, we'll be having exclusive YouTube content for Sci-Fi Journal coming up pretty soon. So watch for that as well. That's
And
worth
next
checking out.
month, we might actually have a new guest.
We might have a new cast member next month too, but we're gonna keep mum on it this month. We'll have a surprise for you. All right. Anything else, gentlemen, before we go? No, that's it. Shout outs to everybody. Okay. That's going to be it for this March 2018 edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in April.
Thank you.